Valeria Márquez, only 23 years old, who was shot and killed in a beauty salon she owned in Zapopan. Who doesn't like to receive an unexpected gift? Some chocolates, some flowers, or a stuffed animal? A gift like that could fill your day with joy. So what happens when you get a bad feeling and that gift quickly turns into a bad omen? Do you take it or not? Well, this happened to two influencers in May of 2025, just 2 days apart. All of Latin America was still reeling from the shock of one of the events when, suddenly and disturbingly, the second one happened. Valeria Márquez and Maria Jose Estupiñán Sanchez didn't know each other, but they had something in common. Their killers took their lives in the same way. Valeria Márquez, a 23-year-old woman, had over 90,000 TikTok followers and more than 70,000 on Instagram. On both networks, she shared her daily life, which was mixed with sports and her beauty tips from makeup, fashion, and personal care routines.
Valeria Márquez was 23 years old, a model, owner of the Blossom de Beauty Lounge Salon in Zapopan, Jalisco, and she showed off her luxurious lifestyle on social media.
Besides being a beautiful young woman, this was confirmed even more when she won the title of My Face in 2021 and Miss Jalisco in 2023. Valeria was also very fun, sharing funny videos on her social media, but what stood out the most was her professional life. She was the owner of a beauty salon in Zapopan, Jalisco, called Blossom the Beauty Lounge. It had become a trend among her followers and residents of the Guadalajara metropolitan area.
The business, owned by the 23-year-old influencer, was situated in a shopping mall in Zapopan, Jalisco.
Valeria spent a lot of time at her business, where she would do live streams. The day she disappeared was no exception. The influencer was talking with her followers. She seemed a bit nervous and restless. No one knew what was about to happen. The unsettling scene would be recorded forever. During the broadcast, she read a message from one of her friends, Vivian de la Torre, in which she asked her to stay in the room and wait for a delivery. Feeling uneasy, Valeria urged her to hurry as she needed to go.
Hey baby, they're bringing you something and I don't know what it is, but they want to give it to you. What about me? Well, she arrived in about an hour.
Apparently, Vivian wanted her friend to wait for a delivery person who was going to give her a very expensive gift, supposedly one that only she could receive. But why was Vivian so insistent that she stay? To make things even stranger, the employee told the influencer that a man had come by the place hours earlier and told her that she was going to receive 3 gifts. Valeria was anticipating the final and costliest item. Her employee Erica's comment made her feel more uneasy. In another clip from the live stream, Valeria asked the woman if the delivery man had said what time he would come back. Maybe he was going to wake me up, or what? She was left worried, feeling a bad premonition that unfortunately turned out to be true this time.
Girl, I was left worried.
Then Valeria said a phrase that would mark her destiny.
They might have planned to kill me.
Moments later, Valeria looks toward the door and tells her followers that the long-awaited delivery guy is coming. What she didn't know was that those would be her last words. From the angle of the video, you can't see the person approaching the entrance of the place. However, you can hear him asking if she is Valeria, the one he's looking for. She answers yes, staring at him intently. Then the live stream goes silent so viewers can't hear. The questions then are, why did she mute it? Did she not want her followers to hear what the delivery guy was saying? Could it be that at that moment he might have said who the tragic gift was from? After confirming her identity, everyone witnessed how Valeria was shot 3 times, twice in the abdomen and once more in the head, dying instantly. Her body slid lifeless to the side. Moments later, the face of the beauty salon worker was seen in close-up, who turned off the live broadcast, leaving thousands of viewers wondering if it had all been a very bad joke. The police and paramedics quickly arrived, but there was nothing they could do for Valeria Márquez.
The area was cordoned off by police officers who found spent shell casings.
The disturbing live broadcast was watched by dozens of people in real time, which caused a huge impact on the internet. Although Márquez's official TikTok account was deactivated after the crime to prevent morbid curiosity from internet users, images of the attack were already widely circulating on different platforms. Everyone was asking who wanted Valeria Márquez dead. Well, on social media, the rumor began to circulate that the influencer had a romantic relationship with Ricardo Ruiz Velasco, also known as R2 or Tripa, alleged leader of the elite group of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. A man who already had several lives on his shoulders, so it didn't sound absurd or strange that he could commit one more.
With a gunshot to the head, he was found Tuesday inside a sewage canal in the Lomas de Oblatos neighborhood. The body of a Venezuelan woman who had been missing since last Wednesday night, according to unofficial reports.
Among his many crimes is that of the Venezuelan woman Daisy Ferrer Arenas, whose body was found in a sewage canal on the streets of Guadalajara in 2012. And although this incident was talked about at the time, especially because of the impunity surrounding the case, the most well-known is that of the YouTuber Juan Luis Lagunas. Maybe you don't recognize him by his name, but you do by his nickname, the Pirate of Culiacan. This incident occurred on December 19, 2017 in a bar in Jalisco, a region dominated at that time by Ruiz Velasco. The pirate was hanging out with friends when an armed group broke into the place. The armed men went straight to the influencer's table and shot him about 15 times, according to the investigations, which later led nowhere. The execution of the Pirate of Culiacan was a message from R, wanting to show that no one mocked the four letters cartel without consequences. This refers to the videos in which the influencer confronted and insulted Nemesio Seguera Cervantes, also known as El Mencho, leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel.
El Mencho, he can't do anything to me.
According to what is believed, Valeria had a relationship going back to the influencer's case with this man several months before the events. Apparently, it was a relationship full of arguments that started when the man got upset about the gift she received from her followers.
Why would anyone give me anything?
According to her followers, there are screenshots of conversations between Márquez and her ex-partner, as well as statements made by the woman accusing him of threats. In an alleged WhatsApp message, he supposedly told her that she doesn't know his worst sides and makes him do things he doesn't want to. Also on another occasion, Márquez let her thousands of followers know that her ex went to look for her at a bar to harass her. Also in an Instagram story, Valeria accused the man of being responsible for anything that might happen to her or her family in the future. So, was this man the one who took her life?
The influencer was doing a live stream in which you can see the moment she was gunned down. Her followers noticed what happened, although due to the length of the video, they can't determine what actually occurred.
Although her followers are betting on this line of investigation, the police authorities dismissed this hypothesis. Instead, they confirmed that the investigation was being carried out under the femicide protocol. Jose, the mayor of Zapopan in Jalisco, spoke about the matter and revealed that the influencer had never reported this alleged ex-partner. Apparently, there was no record neither from the prosecutor's office nor from Zapopan. However, her most loyal followers insist that there is a connection between Valeria Márquez and the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. On the other hand, on Valeria's social media, her followers said goodbye to her and demanded justice. Friends and close acquaintances of the influencer also shared messages. In a post shared by a close user, the following can be read: "I will love you forever, soul sister. I will keep your smile, your voice, your joy." The post also included criticism of the Mexican government for not guaranteeing minimum security conditions. In fact, one of the influencers who spoke out was Marisol Dominguez, known as AIMEP3, who shared a message of empathy toward Valeria. And she reported someone in particular as a possible suspect. In a post on her Facebook account, she wrote, she already sensed that something bad could happen. She mentioned it in her broadcast. She was already thinking about leaving her business, but a friend was the one who convinced her to stay. But which friend is she talking about? Vivian de la Torre was accused by AMP3 and by Valeria's followers as a possible perpetrator of the crime. In fact, this first woman is a TikTok content creator, where she even shared content several times with Márquez, whom she considered a great friend. But why do they suspect her? During the live stream about her disappearance, Valeria said she felt uneasy about the potential arrival of the delivery man and thought it was best to go. However, Vivian reportedly convinced her via message to stay and wait for him. Additionally, minutes before the attack, the young woman had received a coffee delivery sent by her friend and a pig-shaped stuffed animal, also sent by Vivian. She kept this last gift on her lap throughout the entire live stream. Was the pig stuffed animal the key for this hitman to recognize Valeria? Although Vivian's behavior makes her the main suspect, she wasn't the only one. Following the attack, Erica, the beauty salon worker, stopped the live broadcast. This woman's behavior raised suspicions among internet users who began accusing her of being Vivian's accomplice. Because her face didn't show even a hint of fear or sadness over Valeria's death.
And the thing is, the employee's first action was to end the broadcast without being heard screaming, asking for help, or showing any visible signs of shock.
For many, her apparent calm at that moment would be proof of her complicity, since she supposedly knew what was going to happen, and that's why she wasn't scared by the gunshots. Following the accusations, Vivian De La Torre spoke out, and she explained that the employee made this decision to avoid showing the crime scene and out of respect for the victim.
We need to have a little more empathy because it's already quite difficult to deal with.
These were the words of the influencer.
Through TikTok, Vivian firmly denied any involvement, asked for respect for the family's pain, and explained that gifts like a stuffed animal were common in Valeria's circle.
Vivian maintained that she and Erica never thought anything would happen to her right then. Valeria often received gifts and collaborations at her beauty salon. For her, Valeria was like a sister. The prosecutor's office has interviewed over 20 of Valeria's family members, friends, and witnesses.
Well, they're actually interviewing everyone related to this young woman, whether they're friends, family members, or acquaintances.
Among the people summoned to testify is Vivian De La Torre, whose statements have not been revealed so far. Every word that Valeria said in her last live stream will be analyzed, as well as the content of her social media. Who she was messaging with, her relationship with the friend she mentioned in the live stream, with her co-workers, and the alleged threats from her ex-partner. In addition, the authorities confirmed that the surveillance cameras in the area were operational and that the videos obtained have been key to determining the escape route of the suspects.
All the information about where they fled, how they moved, everything was provided through the C5. I mean, the cameras were in...
The images recorded the escape of the alleged perpetrators, who apparently were two and escaped in two different vehicles. A motorcycle and a white car taking separate routes. After the attack,
the body of 23-year-old influencer Valeria Márquez was mourned with deep sorrow. From that hearse arrived the body of Valeria Márquez.
At Valeria's funeral, her family voiced their grief and called for justice. There, they described her as a cheerful, caring, and loving person who enjoyed spending time with her loved ones. In their statements, the family urged local authorities to ensure the case would not go unpunished and that those responsible would face justice.
As people arrived to leave floral wreaths, it was noticeable that the family decided to dress in white to symbolize eternal rest for the deceased.
Almost 10 days after her murder, the Jalisco prosecutor's office confirmed that the Mexican influencer was killed by a hitman while she was doing a live broadcast. So far, the attack is being investigated as a possible contract femicide. The state prosecutor confirmed that the attacker acted without saying a word, after asking for the victim's name and receiving a positive response. He was simply her executioner, that's what the spokesperson for the public ministry stated, explaining that there was no prior relationship between the executioner and the young woman. Among the key statements, there are also those from witnesses who claimed that two men had visited the salon hours before the attack. Under the pretext of leaving a gift for Márquez, the prosecutor's office believes that this was a reconnaissance maneuver by the killer, who eventually entered armed, identified her, and carried out the act. Another disturbing detail was the discovery of a bouquet of flowers that the authorities found outside the beauty salon. Next to the red rose, there is a white ribbon with the word "sorry" in gold. So far, there is no information about who left this gift, but is it perhaps a mockery from the perpetrators? Well then, the Jalisco prosecutor's office stated that the case remains under investigation, with ongoing expert analysis and multiple open lines of inquiry. No detainees or suspects have been charged with the crime yet. This has been a case that has shocked the entire country and raised an alert about this type of crime. But they could become a perverse trend of taking lives for hire, since a similar case in Colombia, which happened just 2 days later, could confirm it. Maria Jose Estupina, also known as La Mona, was a 22-year-old student at the Francisco de Paula Santander University. There, she was studying social communication and journalism while she was arranging her professional internships, with the goal of achieving her dream of working at a national television channel. However, her dreams would never come true. In addition to being a student and having a significant presence on social media like Instagram and TikTok, Maria Jose was a model and was beautiful. She also ran a business selling sportswear, lingerie, and footwear. And not only that, the influencer was also an activist for women's rights and against gender-based violence. Sadly, no one would protect her. On her social media, which remained private, she had posted some texts and images on Facebook, with a disturbing and enigmatic tone, which today could be seen as possible signs of what was about to happen to her. But they were just simple expressions or premonitions. One of them, published a year earlier, said, "We won't take anything to the grave," then a macabre image with a corpse. Another disturbing post. Let's say it was like this: "If I die, straighten my hair and my dad is a paramilitary," referring to the fact that he was a paramilitary. There, that's when you all get to me. So had Maria Jose received previous threats? On May 15th around 8:12 ante meridiem, Maria Jose returned home after a hard workout at a gym in the city center. While she was making preparations for a trip to Cartagena, about which it wasn't revealed with whom or when she planned to go, the doorbell rang. She was surprised since she wasn't expecting anyone and it was very early in the morning. Maria Jose went out to her porch and found a delivery man who handed her a gift, apparently a box of chocolates. She didn't have time to react or ask who the gift was from when she was hit by a hail of bullets that left her dying on the floor of her house. A chilling video recorded by the block's security cameras showed the exact moment when La Mona was killed. From the camera angle, you can't see clearly, but you can hear the gunshots and her mother's screams. This caught the neighbor's attention, who looked out to see what was happening. Her mother, who witnessed the events firsthand, screamed desperately, "Not my daughter!" while the young woman's killer ran away. The man, dressed in a jacket, a sweatshirt, black sneakers, and a red cap, quickly left the scene, while the victim's mother was screaming for help. Agents from the Metropolitan Police of Cucuta and the Interinstitutional Homicide Brigade arrived at the scene and found the young woman with a wound on her right cheekbone. Although they tried everything possible to revive her, nothing could be done to save Maria Jose's life. And just like in the case of Valeria Márquez, who had wished her the worst, Colonel Leonardo Capacho, commander of District 1 of the Metropolitan Police of Cucuta, confirmed that they have begun investigations to identify and locate the person who shot the young woman and fled the scene.
Colonel Leonardo Capacho explained that the attacker used the home delivery method as a strategy to carry out the attack.
Although this individual was the one who pulled the trigger, investigations could indicate that this supposed delivery person was paid by someone else to execute the influencer. Just like in the case of the Mexican woman's murder, but who? Did Maria Jose also have enemies? You might be wondering.
The authorities believe it was a planned attack. A day before the murder, the young woman had attended a court hearing for a domestic violence case.
It turned out that Maria Jose was in the middle of a criminal process for domestic violence and was about to receive compensation in the coming days. It was learned that in 2018 she had reported her ex-partner for violence and the verdict in the case had been issued a day before the crime, sentencing the aggressor to pay her 30 million Colombian pesos, which is about $7,000 in compensation, an amount that Maria Jose would never get to see. So then, was it her ex-partner who had her killed so he wouldn't have to pay? Despite the sentence, the young woman's family and friends revealed that she continued to suffer psychological and verbal abuse from her aggressor. Close friends of Maria Jose said that these attacks caused her anxiety and depression crises. The main investigation suggests her crime is a femicide. Authorities are probing if her ex-partner is responsible for everything. However, Colonel Leonardo Capaccio indicated that other lines of investigation are not ruled out.
Moreover, there are no arrests yet to validate these suspicions.
And the only crime of Valeria, her audience says, was sharing her life on social media.
After the crime was confirmed, social networks like TikTok, Instagram, and X were flooded with messages of grief from her followers and demands for justice from the entire community. The name Maria Jose Estupiñan became a trending topic, and hundreds of users shared her videos, inspiring messages, and reports of gender-based violence. In addition to comparing it to the case of Valeria, who was killed just 2 days earlier. Family, friends, and colleagues of Maria Jose also bid her a sorrowful farewell. And today, they remember her as a brave woman who fought against abuse and dreamed of becoming a television presenter. But unfortunately, all her dreams were shattered because of a person who didn't want to see her well.
The crime has sparked outrage among academics and on social media.
The minister strongly rejected and condemned this crime, which brought mourning not only to a family, but to all of Colombian society. Francisco de Paula Santander University also joined this call for justice. Its rector and University Superior Council sent their condolences to the family, friends, and student community for this loss that has caused consternation throughout the country. The director of the Corporation Woman Denounce and Move, Alejandra Vera, also strongly criticized the lack of protection by the Colombian state towards Maria Jose.
He stalked and was violent towards her. She reported it and filed a complaint with the authorities.
Vera stated that the young woman had previously reported situations of violence and was requesting assistance and security measures, protection. Therefore, they had to put protection measures in place in case of possible attacks. The Colombian state has failed this young woman. That's what he expressed firmly. Meanwhile, the authorities continue the investigation under the femicide protocol, and the public hopes that the case will be clarified and that those responsible will be captured. And finally, both events shocked their followers and once again put gender-based violence in Latin America on the agenda. In Valeria's case, her case was added to a growing list of femicides that have occurred in Mexico, which, according to United Nations figures, 7 out of 10 Mexican women have suffered some form of violence throughout their lives. In addition, it is estimated that around 10 are killed every day in the country. Sadly, Valeria became the 8th femicide so far this May in Jalisco alone. On the other hand, the case of Maria Jose Estupiñan reopens the debate about the role of the authorities. In cases where the victim had previously reported gender-based violence, even though there was compensation she was about to receive, this was not enough to ensure her safety. In this case, it's an urgent call for real protection for women who report violence. But I ask you, do you think it was her ex-partners? Do you think this could become a trend? Well, leave it in the comments, but that's not the only thing I'm going to talk to you about today. And last Monday, May 19th, the Brazilian influencer Luna Ambrozevicius, just 27 years old, was attacked with a sharp weapon by her partner during a live broadcast on Instagram. A vicious assault occurred in front of her over 200,000 followers. In a video of just 23 seconds, Luna manages to scream, "He stabbed me everywhere," while she is violently attacked by her boyfriend, identified as Alex. The scene, broadcast in real time, was cut off abruptly, but some of her followers alerted the police. The attack occurred in Curitiba, southern Brazil. Luna was rushed to the hospital with at least 9 wounds to her abdomen and torso. Although her condition was reported as critical, fortunately she is now stable after undergoing surgery. Alex was arrested at the scene and now faces charges of attempted femicide. Local media have revealed that there was already a history of violence in this relationship. And this case, like the previous ones, has generated strong outrage and has reignited the debate about gender-based violence, a problem that keeps claiming daily victims. Remember that these kinds of videos are uploaded on Pepe Misterio on Fridays and Sundays? To watch more similar content, check out the channel Muchos Más Misterios, which uploads videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.